for those reasons than to make a statement about a political crisis or a financial crisis.
Yeah, but I would like to ask if this depression really comes from this perception of the crisis, because I mean, depression has something to do with there's something missing, and I don't have the feeling that there was really a life of happiness or a life of what is Zufriedenheit. Satisfaction. Yes, I mean, did it really work better in the past? Let's say in '53. I mean, I have a little bit of difficulties understanding what you state, with a film.
Well, I think in terms, if you talk about '53, there's been a mass exodus to the cities from the villages in Greece, which changed the landscape completely. Everyone left. So, but I think, if you can live that way and sustain yourself and sell your animals, and you're doing it for a reason, then of course there's satisfaction. But I think now, when you're being told, there's a psychological effect that it's not worth it. You're being told that constantly.
Is this what you're getting told, or you tell it yourself? Is it like victimization? What you yourself?
I mean, if you go to Greece and you watch the news, and that's why we used a lot of the radio and TV as an outside source of that you're constantly being told, that this is going to hell.
Just to add to this, I think it was back in the 50s. It was still a struggle, but I know from the villages, from my dad who grew up there, from my grandpa, it was a much richer place. And I remember it, even when I was born in the 80s, I used to go there as a kid, and it was much richer. There was a lot of cultivation, a lot of animals, a lot more people, and that certainly makes for a better social life.
Young people.
But both young and old, yeah. At the moment, there's primarily old people, obviously.
I have the impression that the background for these kind of questions, in one way or another, was it from the very beginning meant to be a film about the financial crisis, or did the financial crisis come on top of it while you have been already working on the film?
I think, as Aran already replied, is that it wasn't about the crisis. It's a background thing for us, and obviously because it's so intense right now, it's coming through.
When we first started filming in 2010, it was only something bubbling under in Greece. It was something maybe in Athens with a few riots and protests and stuff like that. But by the time we'd finished filming, it was everywhere. It was a widespread thing. I mean, in every country, I think the focus on Greece, so we keep being asked, why do these Greek films get into festivals and things like that? It's because I think there's just a much bigger worldwide focus on Greece, media focus. So it becomes more interesting to look at this kind of, and especially with films, you get a kind of much more personal take on a worldwide news story. But it was not our intention at all to make a film about the crisis. It was really to go there and document this life that we felt like wouldn't be there for too long.
Is there any last question before we have to leave and make room for the next screening? Yeah, here in the middle.
I would like to ask if alcohol used to be a problem as it was to be seen in the film before, or is it something that has come with the crisis, or do I misinterpreted it? I just I felt like there was a lot, and people had obviously also problems with it. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Greek people like drinking, everyone should know that. But I don't think it was a problem. It comes across in some scenes. The mother shouldn't really be drinking because he had a stroke, and she's been advised not to. But she used to drink like it's entertainment. But no, it's not because of the crisis. No, it didn't arrive now. I wouldn't say so. No.
Well, I would say so. Sorry, but I mean, counting all the scenes all together, the cigarette was never missing. I mean, like,
Well,
it was for me. It was
to be honest,
very obvious.
recently,
Very obvious issue of
the crisis is actually affecting the opposite way because they can't afford cigarettes and they can't afford alcohol. So I would say it has done for them. It has worked the other way. Maybe in the cities people drink more to forget, but they have always been drinking. I remember Yorgos for years that they would go to the local cafes. All they had to do in their little break of half an hour that they could go and run to the local cafe, have a beer, and then go back to the animals. But now they can't actually afford to buy beers or cigarettes.
I mean, the guy, he smokes about 60 or 70 cigarettes a day or something. So, I mean, they buy tobacco that's grown in the area, and it's like a big bag. It costs 10 euros or something. I mean, it lasts for a month or something. But I mean, even once he's finished one, he rolls another one. And once he's finished, it's like that all day.
Okay, if there is not a very last question, then I would say thank you for coming, thank you for staying, and thank you very much for your time.